So I don't really know what I'm going to do here because I've not really done one of these before, but we're going to look at Oceanside 70.3 triathlon. I think it's going to be a really interesting one because it's the first time that we've seen Alistair race in a very long time. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on in comparison to someone like Lionel against another very quality field. And maybe look at how I'd fare in comparison to them over a 70.3 distance based on some bits and pieces that I've done in the past. So we're going to look at the possible contenders for the Oceanside 70.3 triathlon this weekend and who might be likely to win and be crowned champion. And obviously the best way to do that is be the best swim bike runner. But who's going to do that? How's it going to pan out? And like, what's the race dynamics going to be? I'm just going to try and delve into a little bit of that over the course of the next 5-10 minutes. So to do this, I'm going to quickly look at an amazing website called tryrating.com. They're pretty damn accurate, and it's like the data on there is incredible, and it's done from like a background of a load of research and resources and put forth on this website. And yeah, it's just a really good source of information that you can go and look at, and it's a pretty good predictor of the overall results. So we've got here Lionel, Alistair, Sam Long is no longer racing, so we won't see him in the contention. Rudy von Berg, Ben Canute and Sam Appleton is the top 5 here. We've got a load of other class athletes within this as well. Some that stand out to me: Matt Hansen, obviously, very good runner. Eric Langerstrom obviously does the TTL stuff. So yeah, no, I think, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens at the top of this leaderboard here, because Alistair's just an unknown, isn't he? Because he's such a class athlete, like probably the best that there's ever been. Obviously, that's up for debate. We've got Jan Frodeno and current crop of super athletes. But yeah, Alistair, you just don't know how he's going to perform on the day. He's one of the best on the day racers that there's ever been. So you can't really rule him out. So to have him in second place, I mean, it's completely justified because he's quite unproven in the longer distance races, but you just can't count him out. But anyway, so expected times 3:46.22 and 3:47.12. So there's only 50 seconds in it in total over like a almost 4-hour race. That's pretty damn tight. But so he goes into detail here on the swim. So Alice's predicted to swim about a 22:47 in comparison to a 25:23 for Lionel, which is pretty understandable because Lionel's swim is nowhere near front pack at the moment. Don't get me wrong, like I've watched quite a few of his recent YouTube videos, and I think he's getting there with how he's training. Like, I'm not the best trainer in the world, I'm not the best, like, I don't know everything, but just by the looks of it, a lot of what he's doing is starting to make a lot more sense, whereas before it just wasn't. So anyway, I think he's going to improve on that swim a little bit. On the bike, yeah, I mean, it's so hard to tell, but in theory, Lionel a 2:06.01 and Alistair 3 minutes slower than that. Personally, I can't see him going 3 minutes slower than Lionel on the bike. Alistair's like a top class cyclist, and it's going to be really hard to see him not be able to at least stick with Lionel or the same pace as Lionel, especially with what I imagine is going to be a world-class setup, because he's now riding with BMC, he's done a load of wind tunnel testing, he's doing the sub-7 attempt as well, so he's going to be pretty optimised. So exiting onto the run, it's predicted that Lionel's going to be about 20 seconds ahead of Alistair. Maybe? Again, I don't know how these are worked out, but if that's the case, then yeah, fair enough. And then allegedly Lionel will then run another 30 seconds into Alistair. Again, Alistair's one of the best runners in the world, so it's going to be really hard to actually see that coming through. But who knows? Like, again, he's unproven over this distance. Lionel's done a load of training and racing at this distance and above. So yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see come race day how they both pan out. On the women's side of things, as you can see, it's Taylor Knibb, Daniela Reef and Paula Finley. Holly Lawrence in there as well. I'm not entirely sure about the race lineup, whether or not anyone's pulled out at this point. But again, as you can see, Taylor Knibb looks like she's going to be well ahead of the field. Is that really going to be the case? Who knows, because Daniela Ryf, you can never count her out. One of the best at this distance and above. Taylor Knibb very new to this race distance. So 4:09.10 for Taylor Knibb, 4:13.12 for Daniela Ryf, and 4:15.05 for Paula Findlay. Yeah, it's going to be so hard to tell how that's going to really play out, because you've got the swim 24 for Taylor Knibb, which is, I mean, looks like she's going to swim away from everyone apart from maybe Heidi Chura. And then on the bike, 2:20 for at least Daniela and Taylor. They're probably the strongest cyclists. I'm not sure if Taylor has a TT bike yet. I haven't done my due diligence for that as of yet, but that'll be interesting to see, because she rode the last one on her road bike and did incredibly well, so it's only going to get faster if she gets a TT bike in theory. And then the run, 1:20 for Taylor Knibb and 1:23 for Daniela Ryf. This might be based on Daniela Ryf's most recent performance, which wasn't quite up to her usual standard, but who knows? You never know how they're going to perform come race day. Paula, again, 1:22, so that would be a really good run from her as well. If you watch TTL, that Triathlon Life, or Eric Landerstrom's YouTube channel, it's great to see them training, and it looks like they've had a really good block leading into Oceanside, and they did well in the couples triathlon a few weeks back as well. So yeah, I think all in all it's going to be some really good racing this weekend. Do tune into it if you can, and hopefully that gives you a bit of an insight into who might be the contenders for the race come this weekend. Personally, I'd probably say Alistair and Daniela might take the wins. Yeah, I think that would be my shoe-ins. In terms of how I might fare in this, I'd probably sit just behind Alistair in the swim. I could probably hold on to that, because they don't tend to go towards threshold, and I'm pretty good at that sub-threshold at least pace, and I'm a half decent swimmer, so yeah, probably around that 23 minutes for the swim. On the bike, yeah, I'm pretty strong on the bike, but I'm not optimized in terms of aerodynamics as of yet, so I've still got quite a lot of learning to do in that realm. So I'm not really sure kind of where I'd be at. And then running wise, I'd probably be closer to 1:13, 73 minutes on the run, going by my Outlaw Nottingham result, but also some other half marathons and 70.3s at the back ends of those. It also depends how hot it is, because for me, I really suffer in the heat. I really cannot hold on to my pace, power, speed when it's too hot. My body overheats. I'm obviously not acclimatized to it. So yeah, I think I'm just going to tune in and see what happens, I think. And enjoy it for what it is. Will be nice to see Alistair racing again and see what kind of form he is in for the sub-7 attempt coming up. Hopefully that gives you a bit of insight. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.